Sometimes your players surprise you by doing exactly what you think they will. And it totally can throw you for a loop when they actually do what you think they might do. Because, you know, as DMs, we tend to sort of prepare for anything. And I think on a certain level, we might get to a point where we actually expect the players to do anything but what seems like the right thing to do or the most logical sort of course of action to follow. And when they actually do that, it can, it can make things interesting. And so let's talk about what happened last night, because I feel like we had a great session and I want to talk about why and how much fun that ended up being. I suppose I should probably say, hey, thank you to the new subscribers. I'm Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D. I haven't done my whole spiel at the beginning for a while, but this is DnDaily. This is my vlog where I basically talk about Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games that I love and play, or that I hear about and think are interesting and noteworthy and want to share that information with you. So if that's interesting to you, please subscribe and remember to hit the bell notification so you get the updates when these videos go live. All right, that's out of the way. Now let's move on to the interesting stuff. Let's talk about how sometimes as a DM you get surprised because your players throw you for a loop by actually doing the sort of most sensible, logical thing that you thought about in the, when you were planning, like, well, they could go left or they could go right, they could go up or they could go down, but they'll probably go straight. And then they actually do. It's so funny when that happens. Last night, I really had a great time because I said it yesterday in the vlog, I had no idea, A, what was gonna happen because I never know what the players are gonna decide to do, but also B, like, I had an idea that, like, what might happen, but I didn't know how they would go about it, and if they did, whether or not it would be successful. There's always that chance that even though they come up with a great plan, either there's something like that they aren't aware of, the players or the characters aren't aware of, that sort of hinders or blocks that solution, or the dice just aren't fair. I mean, this is, after all, 1 in 20 D&D, so we like to celebrate the ones too. And sometimes it happens that no matter what you do, come up with a great idea, think you've got everything figured out, and then you just roll a bunk roll and everything goes sideways. Well, Oscar had a brilliant idea last night. So Dane is playing Oscar, our bard in the group, and they were trying to be sneaky, and essentially they want to investigate, they want to poke around in the monastery, and more specifically, they want to poke around downstairs. So at the very end of our last session, Dario, played by Sam, who is our warlock, turned himself invisible and hid himself so that he could sneak off. Oscar snuck off in plain sight because he basically said, I gotta go use the facilities. I need to use, have a nature calling moment here, and sort of got himself excused for the moment, and then was like hiding in a corridor. And well, Hulk and Mike went back to the room. Hulk, of course, played by Austin, and we had Mike. Unfortunately, we still don't know much about Mike. Unfortunately, Andrew couldn't make the session last night, so Mike, who's being played by Andrew, and Hulk went back to the quarters, the barracks, where they've all been sleeping for the night or so that they've been here. And Mike used one of his abilities to create a silent image that looked like Dario going back to bed. And because of some great rolling, pulled it off. They convinced the guards that that was actually Dario going back to the bed. So the scene was set. But we had no idea what was going to happen if this would work, because essentially we had two of the players, or two of the characters, outside of the room and sort of free to go about sneaking around, but the other two were in the room and they were being guarded by monks, right? So long story short, because I want to get to the good stuff, they ended up getting out. They ended up sneaking out. Basically, they pulled the same thing of like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, and you know, through some rolling and whatever, they convinced the guard that, you know, okay, well, they're new, so they don't know the rhythms yet, and so the guard was going to take them outside to go relieve themselves, so Hulk could relieve himself, and then Oscar, our amazing bard, used his ability to disguise himself with his hat of disguise and looked like one of the leaders of the monastery. And because he's an actor, he's able to mimic very well the voice of this same person, and so convinced the monk to go to, you know, just do what he's supposed to do, go back to the room, guard the others, and that the Carbo would take care of this guy, right? And so it was great. I thought it was brilliantly played. Then I'm not gonna share any of the other details, because after that they basically were doing a little bit of exploring. They had a random encounter, and then they encountered some zombies and in a crypt underneath this monastery, which again, I didn't think it would go that way. But that's exactly the way I thought there was a possibility. Like, okay, well, let's see. They said they want to go down and look around, so they could go down and look around. There's two different ways they can get there. They probably will go this way. They could go this way. Let's see what happens. And again, I didn't think all three of them would be together, or I didn't think more than two of them, I should say, would be together and would go downstairs and might get into trouble, because two of them without their tank. Hulk is our tank, right? And Hulk, man, did he take a beating last night. Wow, it was awesome. Hulk could not be in the, you know, if he wasn't there, they would have been in trouble. So bringing it back around to the topic for the day, here's what I wanted to say. Sometimes you get surprised because things actually go the way you think they will, and it was really kind of refreshing because we had a great session. Everybody was having a good time. There were some really smart, fun, exciting things that the players had their characters do. I was happy to award some inspiration, and we just had it was a good game session, some fun combat and so forth. And again, their plans worked, and they did essentially what I thought they were going to do, which worked out really cool, and it was nice. I had prepared what I expected to. They went the way that I thought was most likely and didn't deviate too far out of that, which was super cool and just awesome, and I felt like it's something to celebrate. So yeah, we out here and had a great time, and I will be here again tomorrow, because tonight we get to play Icespire Peak over on One Crit Wonder TV on the Twitch stream. So please come and hang out with us, because man, do we have a good time playing the Essentials Kit adventure. And hey, until then, keep rolling 20s, and remember, it's your game. Play your way. So the scene was set, but you know, sometimes you get oh gosh, I'm having that kind of a day.